This is your Prefessional guide for the Dreamrift raid. The video is split into two parts. Part 1 is a general overview of the fight covering main mechanics, and Part 2 covers only role-specific duties. Chimaerus, the Undreamt God. This is a single-phase fight with an intermission period when the boss reaches 100 energy. The raid will need to be split into two groups, as during Phase 1, the raid will alternate between two different realms. I'll be referring to them as the Normal and Shadow realms. The intermission consists of dealing with adds while dodging the boss's deadly breath attacks. You'll be lusting on pull. Phase 1. The boss should be tanked on the far side of the room and only moved when having to avoid adds. Once pulled, the boss will use Rift Emergence. This will spawn in rings, indicating where the manifestation adds are going to spawn. Right after this, the boss will use On Dust Upheaval on the active tank. This creates a large soak circle around them. The first half of the raid should group up for the soak, as once it goes off, it sends those players to the Shadow realm. Tanks will be taunting after each upheaval. On LFR, it automatically splits the raid in half, so no assigned groups are needed for this soak. Once in the Shadow realm, the tank needs to group up all the adds and pull them to the furthest side away from the boss. The manifestation adds have a large absorb shield on them. Once this shield is broken, they will leave behind a ground effect pool, and they are sent back to the normal realm for the other half of the raid to deal with. Tanks will want to try and stack these pools on top of each other so that it's not consuming most of the arena. One final note on difficulty differences. On normal, when you break the ad's shield, they drop an On Dust pool at their location. These pools do not exist on LFR difficulty during Phase 1. They only exist during the intermission, and they are left behind from the boss's breath attack. These pools will disappear once the boss crashes back into the ground. There are a few different adds, but nothing really notable. Just make sure that you're constantly interrupting their casts when possible, and healers be aware that they do put healing absorbs on random players. Once all the adds have been sent to the normal realm, the raiders in the Shadow realm can fully focus on the boss until their debuff clears. That debuff lasts for 40 seconds, so make sure you break all the shields before that expires, otherwise we're all gonna die. Now, for the normal realm mechanics, once the other group goes to the Shadow realm, you can remain burning down the boss. You'll want to keep an eye on where the manifestations are, as once their absorb shield is broken, they return to the normal realm and begin traveling towards the boss. These adds need to be killed ASAP. If the boss eats any of these adds, you guessed it, we're all gonna die. So use your stuns and knockbacks to keep them away. Couple final notes here is the boss will use Caustic Phlegm. This applies a 12-second dot to all raid members. And Rending Tear is a frontal cone attack that applies a 6-second bleed, so make sure you're sidestepping this. At 100 energy, the intermission begins. The boss will take flight and begin targeting where the most of the raid members are grouped up with a sweeping breath attack. Make sure you run out of this unless you want to get deleted. After the boss passes through, it spawns a bunch of the manifestation adds and leaves behind pools on the ground. The adds have the same abilities as Phase 1, and they need to be grouped up and burned down quickly. The boss will sweep across the room doing this 3 times before finally crashing into the ground, knocking everyone up. Any adds that are still alive when he lands will be consumed, and if that happens, you guessed it, we're all gonna die. Role-specific duties. Tanks. Taunt swap after each upheaval. Keep the adds grouped up as much as possible and far away from the boss. During the intermission, group the adds up so that they can be burned down. Healers. Manifestation adds put healing absorbs on the entire raid. Upheaval deals heavy damage to the soaking groups. Caustic Phlegm ticks raid damage over 12 seconds. And during the intermission, the boss's Ravenous Dive deals a burst of heavy raid damage. DPS. Adds are the top priority. Kill them before they reach the boss and interrupt everything. Make sure you're using a defensive when soaking. Congratulations, you're now a Prefessional raider. Shout out to the channel members, your support keeps these guides coming. If this video helped, hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more WoW content. Extra support can be given by becoming a channel member, and if you want to look the part, check out the Prefessional merch shop. All links are down in the description. I'll see you in the next one.